Hello children. So from today onwards, we are going to initiate the science subject also. For 8th and 10th classes, all the 3 classes, I am going to start the science subject. So previously I took maths, but because of this very busy session and to have the basics for 5th, 6th, 7th classes, I am taking the 5th, 6th, 7th maths in 8th and 10th science. So I have to take daily 6 classes or day by day classes. So 1 or 2 days it may be late. So don't feel you have to adjust with that. Right. Now coming to the science. So all of you get ready with your textbooks. So whenever the class is there, whenever you are going to do the class, not maths, remaining subjects, you must be get ready with your textbooks. Right. So once I'll go to have an index. In the index, in your chapter total it has 12 lessons, 12 chapters were discussed in the 8th class. Among these, the sound reflection of lesson number 5, lesson number 6, reflection of light and plane surfaces, and 8th lesson combustion fuels, and 9th lesson electricity connectivity of liquids, and friction and force. These are some lessons which you are going to continue up to your 10th class. The lesson number 4, metals and non-metals. You will have a lesson called as periodic table in your 10th class. In that it will be discussed. So why I am intimating you, because at this stage, that is at 8th class stage, once you are perfect with your concept, then you have a good grip at the 10th class. Right? So for that sake, you have to prepare well at this stage. Okay. Sir, I don't know how to read the 10th class. You heard that. My intention is, at your 8th class, you must be very perfect with this. And my humble suggestion to all the students, not only you, any students who are dealing with the science, always you have to learn the science beyond the textbook. Beyond the textbook means, sir, this is the lesson. In the last page, some questions will be given. If you thoroughly read that questions, it's not correct. It's not at all correct. You must learn the concept. That is the point. You have to learn the concept, and you have to learn in such a way that any type of question given, you have to be answered. Especially in 10th class, physics and chemistry, you can't expect a question from the textbook. Many times I inform, this is totally CC pattern. In the CC pattern, we can't expect the questions from the textbook. We have to be ready, get ready beyond the textbook questions. Okay. So second thing is, these are 5 fingers. So 5 fingers are different. Why I am showing these 5 fingers means my style of teaching will be different from others. Similarly, every staff having their own style of teaching. I will go in my style, another teacher may go in their style. So no need to compare that. Every person has his own style of teaching. Even if you become a teacher in future, you have to maintain your own style. Right? So now, so in my style of teaching, I'll try to explain the concept, and I'll try to give some definitions, and I'll give some application oriented type of questions. You have to catch them. You have to do them. Then only you will be perfect in the examination point of view. Don't read for marks at all. Don't learn the subject for marks. If you learn the concept, automatically marks will come. Okay? Now, coming to the topic. So from today onwards, I am going to initiate the lesson number 1. Says class 8, lesson 1, force. And this is the session 1. Right? Now we'll discuss about the force. In this session, force, types of examples, types of forces, and what it will be in the exam, in the textbook part. I'll explain. Now, first of all, in science or any other one, in mathematics also, you have to know the definition of the title. For example, the first lesson is force. What is force? Okay, you have to learn the definition. You have to know the definition. Right? So the force is very simple, its definition. push or pull of an object is considered as a force. Push or pull. Push means push. Push means throw it out. Pull means ladder. So push or pull of an object is considered as a force. For example, this pen is there. Okay. Now I did something. I just strike it off. What happens? The place of a pen has moved. Why it was moved? Sir, it has legs, sir, it has moved means don't say that type of answer. Because I applied some force. When I apply some force, the place of an object will change. Now you can think, now I am pulling this side I am pulling. So what happens? The place of an object is changed. So in the scientific definition, what we have to do is push or pull of an object is considered as force. Okay, that is the definition of a force. Now units. Units is very, very important. Sir, what are units means? Suppose you go to a shop. Your mother given a 50 rupees and asked you to go to the shop and get some sugar. You will go to the shop and what you will ask? Give me half liter sugar. Will you ask? Give me half liter sugar. Will you ask? Give me 100 sugar. Will you ask? What will you ask? You may ask 1 kg of sugar, half kg of sugar, or a power kg of sugar. You will ask like this only or not? Next you will go to some milk vendor, milk shop. Then you will give half kg of milk means he will look at you. What you are saying? What is idiot means? That means every particular measurement or every particular has some units. So the units of sugar, kilograms, grams, right? Units of a milk, liters, milliliters. Like that, the force also having some units. So what are the units of force is SI, Indian Standard Unit. SI unit is nothing but Newton. So force is measured in newtons. So how much of force is given means you may have to set some in newtons. And another units also there, they are called as dynes and pounders. Because units you have to know. Right? Any quantity having this measurement, you have to get units will be there. So the SI unit of a Newton, SI units of a force is newtons, and any other units is nothing but it is dynes or pounders. Right? So this is the definition of a force and units. Right? Now the very important one is examples. Examples of a force. Right? So in your textbook, some questions are given, examples are given. First I will give that one only, then you have to write. So the first one is take any rubber band and what stretch. Stretching of rubber band. Stretching of rubber band. So stretching of a rubber band is also a force. You take the rubber band and you stretch it. If you blow it, will it stretch? No. It has to stretch. So that is an example for force. Next thing is pulling of rickshaw. Pulling of rickshaw. So rickshaw is a rickshaw puller. He has to sit on this one and he will try to pull that. So these are the examples. Next, rowing boat. Rowing of a boat. Suppose if you sit in the boat, go means you will go. No, it will not go. We have to take this one and we have to make some action so that it will move this. All this comes in the category of force. You may ask some questions, right? Some daily examples. Suppose you are taking a lemon and having the lemon juice. How will you take the lemon? You will take the lemon and will you break it? No. What you will do? You will cut it into two parts and you will take the first part and you will tightly squeeze it. So that is also a force. You are applying some force. Next, squeezing, twisting. Suppose you want to make some chapatis. What you will do? You will take the flour and will you throw means chapatis will come? No. What you will do? You have to pour some water and you have to make into a thicker part. Then you will make the parts and you will do this. Next, stretching, making exercises, lowering and lifting. Suppose if you are having a one bucket of water on this one. If you want to keep, what you will keep? Will you throw it? No. What you will do? You will take them slowly and you will keep slow down. So and suppose if you want to take one ball to there or one one bucket of water to there. What you will do? You will do lift. You will take and go. So all these are comes under the category of force only. So whatever it may be, whenever a pull or a push is applied, push means always don't go for this type of action, pushing. It's not correct. Anything, any place of an object is changed by forcing, it can be called as a force by. Right? So all these are examples of force. Now how many of our examples are given? Already was mentioned in your textbook. First one, stretching of a rubber band. Second thing is pulling of rickshaw. Third one is rowing boat. And fourth one is picking of flowers also, it's like a force. In some cases we have to apply more force. In some cases we have to apply a little bit of force. Whatever it may be, that is a force. Squeezing, twisting, stretching and lifting, everything. Right? So these are all the examples of force. Okay. Now we'll go for an activity. All the students open your textbooks. We'll go for one activity in the textbook given. Open the textbooks, please. Right. I think you have opened that. So look at the textbook. Activity number 1. One table is given here on this side. One table is given here. One matter is there, and one figure is given. And on the corner of the column we have to write. So what is the first one? Action. Second one, diagram. And third one is push, pull or both. This is the given. Right? Now there are some actions. Look at the first one. What is the first one? Digging borewell. So digging borewell. So borewell means you are going to dig. So first what you will do, you will take a plow and you will dig it. After that what you will do? You will take off the sand or whatever it may be off upside. So here what you have to write is both push and pull is going to happen. We are digging, we are applying the pushing and we are taking that. So that comes in the category of both push and pull. Next, sipping juice with a straw. Suppose the juice is there and you are having the sip. How will you sneeze? Will you sneeze like this or will you blow like this? What you will do is you blow like this, you will go and fall on the opposite one. So what you will do? You will squeeze. So this comes in the category of pull. Right? We are after two words. Next, erasing blackboard with duster. So we will take a question. Erasing blackboard with duster. What we will do? What we will do is, this is also both push and pull. So I take the eraser and I push it. Then the eraser, what you will do is, the duster will pull the particles towards that side. So erasing the dusters means both pull as well as push. Both it will come. Next, a magnet attracting nails. What it will do? The nails are there. If you keep a magnet, what it will do? It will pull towards it. So the magnet will attract. Right? That comes in the category of a pull. Next, for fruits falling from the tree. So tree is there and why the fruits will fall? Sir, if it rises, automatically it falls. Don't say like that. The gravitational force of the earth will pulls the fruits from that. Right? Next, what is the next one? Hosting a flag. Hosting a flag is there. So whenever the hosting area, what we will do? We will do this one. A flag will be cutted and we will pull it. So this comes in the category of both pull. So both the only one it is example it is right. So you have to fill this column with your pencil, action, diagram, and you have to write whether it is which type of action is given. Right? So this is an activity you have to do. Like this, think some more activities of your own and you try to write. Okay. Next. Now coming to the classification of forces, types of forces. Types of forces. So first I have given what is the definition of a force. Then I have given units of force. Then I have given examples of force. Then we have went for classification, that is an activity. Then after that, types of forces. Right? So there are two types of forces. The first one is contact forces, CONTACT, contact forces. And second thing is field forces, FIELD contact forces and field forces. So these are also called as forces at distance, at a distance, right? So these are the two things. One is contact forces, second thing is field forces, right? So by seeing the definition only, just by seeing the classification, we can define this. No need to learn pages of pages. Contact means touch. So how it is defined as, if there is a direct physical contact between two interacting objects, that force is called as contact forces. If there is no interaction or there is no physical contact between the two objects, it is called as field forces. If you want to know, just I will explain one example. Suppose if you want to squeeze a lemon, what you will do? You will take the lemon and you will take the hand and you will squeeze it. So what are the two objects here? One is your hand and one is lemon. Is it having contact or not? Yes, it is having the contact. That's why this comes in the category of contact force. Field forces are there. Suppose if you take a magnet, right? Keep an iron somewhat distance in there. Automatically it will try to connect. If you keep magnet there and if you keep nail there, it won't attract. Will it attract? No sir, it has to attract, means it won't attract. Up to some distance of magnet, some field force will be there. Once the iron comes into that place, automatically it will attract because of that rule. So that type of called as field forces. Okay. Now will you write the definition of this? Yes. First I'll write the definition of this. One is contact force. So how we can define the definition? Contact force means if there is a direct contact, if there is a direct physical contact means what I write? Yes. Or you can call it as interaction. We can call it as interaction between two interacting objects. Between two interacting objects, that force is called as contact force. What is that? That force is called as contact force. Example, we can have two examples. Squeezing, SQUEEZING, squeezing of lemon. And second thing is, in your textbook it is given as squeezing of toothpaste. Squeezing of toothpaste. So this is the definition can be given for what is that? Contact forces. Means if there is a direct physical contact between the two objects, that is interacting objects, then it is an example for contact force, right? So next one, what is that? Field force. If there is no physical contact, direct physical contact between the two interacting objects, but the force is going to apply, that is called as field forces. Okay. So I'll go for the next definition. Field force. So how to write the definition is, we can write two definitions. I'll write both the definitions. మీకు ఏది అర్థమైతే అది రాయండి. Field forces. The field forces is if there is no contact, between two two interacting objects between two interacting objects, that force is called as field force, right? So this is the one definition, or we can write a textbook definition. ఇది మనం అర్థం అవడం కోసం రాసుకున్నాం. అంటే డైరెక్ట్ గా కాంటాక్ట్ ఉంటేనేమో కాంటాక్ట్ ఫోర్స్, డైరెక్ట్ గా కాంటాక్ట్ లేకుండా ఉంటేనేమో ఫీల్డ్ ఫోర్స్. ఇది మనకు అర్థం అవడం కోసం. మన సైంటిఫిక్ డెఫినిషన్ ఏంటంటే the force, that is the textbook definition, the force which occurs without any physical contact, between the two objects, is known as force at distance. What is this? Is known as force at distance or field force. So these are the two definitions for field force. The first definition is, if there is no contact between the two interacting objects, that force is called as a field force. Then the force which occurs without a physical contact between the two objects is known as force at a distance or field force, right? So examples for this, you have to write the examples also. So what is the example is that, just now I explained, attracting of nails towards the magnet. So the example for this one is, the two examples is given, changing the direction of compass, towards magnet. And second one is attracting of iron towards magnet. Attracting of iron nails towards magnet. These are the two definitions can be taken for field forces. Can you imagine this? Changing the direction of compass towards magnet. Can you imagine? What is the compass? Showing north-south directions. Okay. So when you place the magnet, we have one point. Likes north, like repels. Like and like attracts. Yes or no? If you place a north pole of one magnet with the north pole of another magnet, it won't attract. Similarly, if you place a compass which is showing north and south direction, if you place a magnet, automatically it will change the direction towards the south without physical contact between the two. It's a practical live example. A compass will show north and south directions, and always the north pole of one magnet will attract with the south pole, and north repels. So when you brings the magnet near towards that, automatically it will change its direction. That is an example of field force. And second thing is attracting of iron nail towards the magnet. If you keep magnet there, if you keep iron there, it won't attract. When it comes to the near, automatically at some time automatically will attract. So these are examples of field forces. Okay, that's all. I'll stop at this session. In the next session, forces acting at a distance. So this we'll discuss tomorrow in the next session. Magnetic force, electrostatic force, and gravitational force are somewhat given. We'll discuss in the next class. And today I'll give the home assignment also to you. And what we have discussed, I'll explain. Today we are discussing the lesson name force. And I have given the definition, units, examples, and types of forces. All I have given, right? So what is the home assignment? Is that whenever you are listening to science class, first you listen all the class. Now how much the duration is, I don't know. How much the duration came, I don't know. First you listen all the class first. Don't write anything. You just listen the class. When I am explaining, you just place your textbook in front of you and listen to the class. Then, after finishing the class, then you start writing. That is the way to write. Okay? So, home assignment is keep the heading as this, everything. Then write all this one. Definition of force. Definition of force. Next, units of force. Next, examples of force. And next, types of force. Types of force with examples. Types of force with examples. This is your homework assignment. Okay? So whatever you have told, no need to write everything as it is. Cut, copy, paste. Don't do like that. Think of your own and you have to write. Okay? So you have to send the homework to me. What is the format of homework is? Suppose this is your page. Write the date here. Write the session here. And on the top of that, you have to mention your name. Name of the students. Don't say take the photograph and send it. If you want to take the selfie, how will you do? You will have some poses na. After posing the day, బాగా తీసేసేయండి కదా. అలానే మాకు పంపించేటప్పుడు కూడా క్లియర్గా లేకపోతే తీసేసేయండి. సరే చూసుకుంటాడని చెప్పి ఆ మూలకి మనకు పడేయదు. నేను హోంవర్క్ పెట్టాడు, ఎవరో హోంవర్క్ అది, ఎవరో హోంవర్క్ ఎవరో పంపించదు, నాకు తెలియాలి కదా. అందుకని ఫార్మాట్ ఇలా ఉండాలి. ఇక్కడ డేట్ ఉండాలి, ఇక్కడ సెషన్ కంపల్సరీ మెన్షన్ చేయండి, తర్వాత అక్కడ నేమ్ రాయండి. అంతే. సెషన్ 1 హోంవర్క్ ఇవాళ, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇవాళ క్లాస్ వెళ్ళింది, రేపటిలోగా పంపించారు. రేపటిలో కాదు, క్లాస్ ఉన్న వెంటనే పంపించేయండి. ఈ హోంవర్క్ వచ్చే నెల పంపించి ఆ వచ్చిన హోంవర్క్ తర్వాత పంపించండి, అలా చేయకండి. ఓకే? సో దిస్ ఈస్ ద ఫార్మాట్ అండ్ దిస్ ఈస్ ద హోంవర్క్ వాట్ ఐ హావ్ గివెన్. అండ్ ఆల్వేస్ వన్స్ ఇట్ వాస్ ఫినిష్డ్, read the textbook once again. Total textbook, whatever up to now. Whatever the doubts are there, you just underline it. And after completion of this lesson, we'll have a live class. In that, you may ask the doubt, whatever it may be. Okay? That's all. That's all for this today's session. And we'll meet in the next session. Bye.